Life does not. Oh my God.
Every time I would take a shower and that black cat is there, that night I would have sleep paralysis. Never really paid attention to it.
They know exactly why they're scared, but you might not. So let me tell you.
Take place in Haiti. This one took place in America. I came to America.
Life does not. Oh my God.
Guys, I saw his video and I immediately had the chills. Listen, that stuff is real, okay? I have a story to tell you. Call me Delulu, I don't care anymore. I know what I saw, I heard what I heard, and it is real over there, okay? So when I was 15, I had to go to Haiti. I remember my mom talking to me. She said, hey, if you see an animal ou un bête ou something, just look the other way. Don't talk to it, don't make fun of it, don't even look at it, because those animals could actually be humans. Yeah, humans. So I started taking a shower, and where the shower was, there was like this wall, but you can see the outside through that wall, right? So I would take a shower. All of a sudden, there's this black cat that would watch me take a shower. And I kid you not, every time I would take a shower and that black cat is there, that night I would have sleep paralysis. Never really paid attention to it. It was just weird, whatever. This cat's been watching me for a long time. Every evening it would come and just watch me. And it's a black cat, okay? Every time this cat would come out, I would have these like chills, like goosebumps. Bad. One day, nobody was home. I decided I was going to take a shower. Nobody is at the house, okay? The cat is there. And now, like, my chills are seriously chilling at this point. But I'm taking a shower. I'm like, I'm not scared of no cat. I'm from America. I got this, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay. So I'm taking a shower, and then all of a sudden, the cat look at me. I look at the cat. The cat goes, Lisa. That's my middle name. Lisa. I'm like, Lisa. I kid you not, the cat called my name. And I looked at the cat and the cat looked at me and I screamed. The cat didn't move. I'm screaming and all of a sudden my aunt was coming back from the grocery store or something and she heard me and I was like, oh my God, the cat is talking to me. I don't know. I had never seen this before. I'm like losing my mind. My aunt cussed that cat out. My aunt told that cat, don't you ever come here. Some weird stuff I don't even know. I don't understand. And I kid you not, that was the last time I've ever seen that cat. That cat understood what my aunt said. That cat spoke to me, and that junk is real. Be careful when you go to Haiti, okay? Because those animals, respect the animals, because those animals are humans, okay? Oh, and my sleep paralysis went away after that.
Yeah, this one's really short, but I got another story. Still creepy though. This one took place once again while he was patrolling the streets of Port-au-Prince. Oh yeah, this is my uncle's story. This time he was actually alone. He was by himself in the police car and he's just, watching the streets, making sure nothing crazy is going on. Well, something extremely crazy was about to go on. So again, he's looking out his car and he notices a woman walking towards him. This one is a regular woman. There's nothing too crazy about her. Except the closer she comes, the crazier it gets. So this woman appears to have something on her head, so she's holding it with that one hand. And with her other hand, she's holding, it wasn't a lamp or a candle or anything. It was basically like a torch, but it was like inside of a container. So like the fire was contained inside of like this container, I guess. So picture this, a torch that's on fire that is inside of a metal bucket. She's holding on to the metal burning bucket with one hand and she has the other hand on her head holding something. She was on the same side of the street that my uncle's car was parked, so she's walking towards the car. Boom, she gets to the front of the car and she starts crossing the street. So my uncle is still trying to figure out how is she holding the fire like that? And as my uncle is watching this woman cross the street, he notices that the bucket that was holding the fire, it's like drops of fire are like falling on top of her feet. She's walking and there's just fire just falling on top of her foot. And this woman was completely unfazed. She was walking so normal, like the fire literally did not faze her at all. And my uncle was just looking at her like, what the fuck? Then she turns around and looks at my uncle and everything around him just went black. Like he could not see within more than 2 feet in front of him. Because like I said, everything was black and the wind just started. So he's inside of his car and he just cannot see shit. And all he's hearing is the wind just gushing outside. Until the lady passed, so did the darkness. It just went away completely. And my uncle was like, well, all right, just another day patrolling the streets of Haiti.
What's a scary story that a family member told you that still stuck with you? Every Haitian got a scary story told by a family member. Mine was my mom. She told me once she was heading home with her friends, and some random guy asked them for a ride. They denied him. After a few minutes of driving, they saw the same guy walking out of their car and thanking them for the ride. To me, this story wasn't really that scary. It was more like creepy.
While I'm telling other people's stories, why don't I tell my own? Because, child, I'm a survivor too. But this story time, unlike the others, didn't actually take place in Haiti. This one took place in America. I came to America after the Haitian earthquake in 2010. I had the worst year of my life. The Haitian earthquake hit, then my mother passed away, and then my grandmother passed away. So it was like a hell of a year for me, yeah? Because of all of the unexpected tragedies, I had to move around a lot because my father could not afford to take care of me and my sister. I don't know if I should tell the story about how after my mother passed away, like shortly after, there was a spirit that came in my dreams dressed as her that looked exactly like her every night, and its sole purpose was to unalive me. It would try so many different tactics. And this was like a week after my mother passed away. All my dreams would be like lucid. So basically I wouldn't know if I'm dreaming or not. And she would come to me, or her spirit would come to me and would convince me to like take her hand and to come with her, and would convince me that I'm not happy where I am and that I would be so much happier and safer where she's at. And well, you guys, I almost took her hands quite a few times. And the reason why this was scary was because this was a constant dream, you guys. This escalated so much so that it actually started to affect my waking life, because I started sleepwalking. I was 11, you guys. Basically, this one time I fell asleep, but this time it's like broad daylight outside. I was taking a nap. Same scenario. Mother comes to me in my dream, and just this time she's really convincing me to take her hand. And at this point, you guys, it is starting to work, because at this point I really miss my mom, and life was just not going well for me. So I was really willing to do it. So I go to take her hand, but it seems like the more I reach, the further she gets. So I get up and I start following her. What I didn't realize is that I actually had gotten up in real life and started walking. And the way that the houses were set up in Boston at the time, I lived on the second floor of the house. So I woke up, exited the apartment, walked down the stairs, opened the door, and walked directly into moving traffic. Now keep in mind, you guys, I am not conscious for any of this. As I'm walking towards the street, there was a Jeep, and I will never forget this, coming full speed. You guys, that car missed me by a hair. And the only thing that saved me, at the time, somebody was coming home, and they saw me literally walking into moving traffic, and they were like, what the fuck? They thought I was gonna unalive myself. People were yelling at me, and I really did not hear anything. I did not reach consciousness until whoever literally tackled me away from the car. Somebody literally ran just in time and tackled me out of the way, and that car missed me by literally a hair. And then from there, that's when my father started taking precautions, because obviously something's not right.
I hope you're ready for another Haitian folklore. That was so creepy. Okay, today's folklore has no demons, no crazy stuff, right? It's a good folklore. Pristine and simple. It's called The Case of the Uncooked Eggs. It's kind of like the magic beans, but with more logic than magic. All right, so there was a poor woman, and we're gonna name her Martha. And Martha lived in a small hut on the side of a town, and we're gonna call the town that she lives in Gonaive. Gonaive is a special city in Haiti. One day a soldier's walking through the town, and he sees Martha, and he basically asks her for some lodging. You know, can I stay at yours for a day or two? And Martha's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And we're gonna call the soldier Elon, after exactly who you think. So Martha offers great lodging to Elon, and she feeds him and she washes his clothes. He has a wonderful time there, and he's so grateful for her services that when he leaves, right before he does so, he gives her 3 large eggs, and he departs on his way. Martha takes a look at the eggs, and she was about to cook him to make herself some food, but then she sees that they're like longer on one side. So she's like, no, something, my ancestors are telling me something bigger is here. So instead, she doesn't cook them, and she just waits for them to hatch into whatever animal they're going to hatch into. And huzzah, 3 days later, they hatch into 3 large red hens. And so she's like, oh, word. So she sells the 3 red hens for $5. And remember, this is all the way back in the days when people actually had a decent quality of living or something. I don't know. And so she sells them for $5. With the $5, she buys 2 little pigs. Cute. With the 2 little pigs, she trades them for a goat. And with the goat, she trades it for a cow. And so the cow grows older and becomes an ox. And so with that cow producing milk, she then begins to sell milk, and now she's able to have money for seeds, and she begins to farm, and she just makes a real good living with herself. She changes her hut into a nice little house. She just has it going on, okay? You gotta listen to your gut. You gotta listen to your gut. So 5 years later, Martha is doing well for herself. And when I say well for herself, she's not crazy like a billionaire. She's just doing enough to take care of herself and her community. So Elon's looking for Martha again. And Elon's like, yeah, that was a nice lady. I enjoyed my time with her. Where is she? Where is she? And then he sees Martha. And Martha's like, oh my goodness. Boy, I'm so happy to see you. Thanks to you, my life has changed. Look at my farm. Look at my little house. Look at my cows. Look at my chicken. After she showed him around, she made him a large meal, and he stayed with her for the next 5 days. And during those 5 days, she treated him like royalty. The best of the best. But I named him Elon for a reason. Let's see what happens.
So you know how I be telling y'all to stop messing with things that y'all don't know about? Scary story time.
Hi, it's me again. I got another one. So if you're into stories about shapeshifters and loup-garous, this is the story time for you. Now this story is brought to you by my aunt who lives in Haiti, and this is actually her story from childhood. I cannot make this shit up. So according to my aunt, my dad, her, and her brother grew up in this house called La Kukai Jab, which means the house/yard of demons. Now, through these voice notes, I just found out I actually had some loup-garous in the family. In Haiti, depending on where you live, you would have to physically leave your house, bring a container, go to a place where there's fresh water, collect water so you can go back home. So that day, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, with my grandfather were going to get water. So this person that was walking behind them her name is Vaughn. That was my grandmother's cousin. There were always rumors that Vaughn was a loup-garou, but my aunt never really saw her do anything suspicious, so until... Now again, I know this is really gonna sound unbelievable and schizo. Now, bear with me. This is their aunt. They used to go fetch water together, so why would they have to believe that she's a loup-garou? Until one day. So all the kids are playing outside in La Kukai Jab. Basically, they look over and they see a walking broom. Now, this is really freaky because brooms don't walk. So they're all watching the broom, extremely confused, watching the broom advance towards them, and the broom suddenly starts to morph and shapeshift into Vaughn, their aunt, with a package on her head and everything. Now this is really creepy because she's still alive, says my aunt. This is not like this is the dead visiting. This is a walking human. Remember how I said earlier that they were all going to go fetch water? It was my aunt, my dad, my uncle, and my grandfather. And behind them was Vaughn. Apparently, only my aunt and my uncle were able to see Vaughn behind them. My grandfather did not see her when he turned around, and neither did my dad. Creepy, right? It was definitely more about my tante Vaughn. That's what we referred to her as. Oh, I could also talk about my first ever voodoo ceremony that I witnessed. Anyway, comment and let me know.
Hello everyone, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny, so grab your popcorn, grab a drink, grab your blunt, whatever it is that you need, and let's listen to some creepy story time. And as promised, every single Sunday I will share some creepy stories from everywhere around the world, but today we're starting with Haiti, and I'm from Haiti. I have experienced a lot of things, and I've seen a lot of things, and I have brought to you a lot of different stories from different creators that are sharing their stories of what happened to them while living in Haiti or while visiting Haiti. And I can guarantee you majority, if not all of the stories are 100% true because I even share my experience and my stories in this video as well.
In Haiti, you don't see no evil, you don't hear no evil, and you do not speak no evil. Story time. This one's a short one, and we're gonna call it My Grandfather's Journey Home. This is the time my grandfather came home later than usual. So as he's walking home, again, in Haiti, when it gets dark, it gets pitch black. He's in Saint Walk, under air, there's literally no freaking lights. He doesn't even have a flashlight. He's literally guiding himself home through pure muscle memory. Now, Saint Walk, there's literally trees everywhere. It's a big ass mountain, of trees, and people kind of like build around the trees or like cut the trees down to like, you know, make land space and stuff like that. But ultimately, it's the fucking woods. So as he's walking, the first thing he hears are footsteps behind him. So it sounds like somebody's walking behind him. So, you know, he's walking, and then it sounds like the pace of the person behind him is picking up. The footsteps are intensifying, and the footsteps turn from footsteps to full on sprinting and running. My grandfather said he didn't even bother to turn around to check if there was anybody behind him because that was none of his business. His only business was getting home. So he proceeds with his walk, and a little further down, he starts to hear conversations. And it sounds like these people are like really close to him because he can hear what these people are saying. Again, keep in mind, it's pitch black outside. He keeps walking, and then he says this is when people starts calling his name. Tia, Epa, but the name calling thing is pretty standard, so that really didn't bother him. The last thing, down the block from his house, he saw his neighbor's house on fire. He is very close to this neighbor, somebody that is extremely close to him, and their house is on fire. And my grandfather sees this on his way home. And surely he stopped to make sure that his best friend, his neighbor, is okay. Y'all, while my grandfather kept walking, he kept walking and he walked straight home. He didn't even look back. He got in the house like it was normal, doesn't say anything to anyone, and just goes to sleep. So I said, wait, hold on. After you just saw your best friend's house on fire, that's a little psychopathic, don't you think? He said because the following day, he woke up, first thing he did was go check on the neighbor's house, his best friend. And when he went out there, he told me it's as though that house was brand spanking new. No signs of a fire, and definitely no signs of anybody being hurt. He then says, imagine what would have happened to me if I ran inside the house telling everybody, guys, the neighbor's house is on fire, and I gathered as many people to run outside with me to go see this house's neighbor, that's the neighbor's house that's not actually on fire. Everybody would have died. He said, Ntaptula.
They know exactly why they're scared, but you might not. So let me tell you. Make it a long story short, nobody with that much money is just going to be handing it around. So it must be juju money. They're not falling for that. But this is not the point of this video. I wanted to make this video to tell you that it is the month of December. Quite possibly the worst month of the year for the normal citizens, but the best month of the year for people doing witchcraft. My grandma always told me the month of December is the devil's month. Yeah. The devil goes hard on this month of December because it is the last month of the year. So he needs to put in as much work as possible. So my number one advice to you would be, do not, absolutely not, pick up any type of lower from the floor. Yapron, they will get you. And be kind. It goes a very long way.
Tell me, what's the creepiest experience you ever had in your life and why you still think about that moment?
Okay, so I've got a story, but don't follow me for content like this because I will never talk about stuff like this again. But, okay, so I grew up in a really bad area in New York City. And one night, it was about 10:30, I was doing laundry and I was coming home. At the time, I had like my door knocker earrings on. I had like a gold chain. I was like really flashy. And I was walking home and I was on my cell phone. And all of a sudden, you know when you feel like someone right behind you? Like I just felt like someone was right behind me. So I turned around and I see these two big girls and they had a look on their face like, what's up? So, you know, I grew up in this neighborhood. I knew they were about to kick my ass. So I was like, oh my God, I was so scared. And the person I was on the phone with, she's like, what's going on? What's going on? And finally I was like I was so scared. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And all of a sudden I hear someone saying, hey, what's going on? So I turn around and I see this man, right? I'll tell you, this man was fine. Like he must have been like 6'6". He was brown, chocolate brown with the most beautiful blue eyes I had ever seen. Now, remember, I grew up in this neighborhood and I had never seen this man before. Believe me, I would have noticed if I saw this man before. But he came up to me as if he knew me and he was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. And all of a sudden I hear like the sound of like feet. So I turn away from him and I look, and those girls are running. I mean, they are running fast away from me. And I was like, and the person I was on the phone with, they're like, my God, what's going on? What's going on? Are you okay? And I was like, oh my God, these girls, I think they were about to fight me. Oh my God, I got to thank this man. And I look, he's not there. So mind you, I'm like, what the hell? So I walk towards his building because it was right across the street, the building he came out of. He wasn't there. I run to the corner to see if he's there. He was gone. It was late too, so there was no one on the street. He was gone. And let me tell you, there is no possible way that man could have like jetted out there unless he was like freaking tracks Usain Bolt #2. There was no way. So there's this saying that your mom's prayers still protect you, or your grandmother's prayers. I really believe that's what happened that day. My mom is super spiritual, always praying. My grandmother was always praying at the time when she was alive. Yeah, I think that maybe that was my guardian angel. You know, it was definitely not normal what happened that day. But that instance also led to me changing my life at the time. I was really angry. I was really like, you know, trying to prove myself. After that, I kind of realized there's way more to life than that.
Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable, but is entirely...
So my mom got this house in this town, and the house was huge. So I'm gonna give y'all the display of the house. It was the living room. You open the front door, it's the living room, my mom's room, a den, and my sister's room. So there's a glass door. Behind the glass door is a kitchen. It's a room on the left-hand side, a bath, a restroom, and then you have another door on the right-hand side of the kitchen. This is the second part of the house. You have the washing machine, the dryer, the back door, and it's a screen door. It's like a little sitting area and a screen door. Then you have a bathroom, and then you have my room, which consists of a den and my room. So my room was like one big ass room. So y'all, I had my music playing. All the lights was off in the whole house because like at this time I was like the man of the house type of situation, bitch queen of the house, whatever. So so y'all, I had turned all the lights off. My sisters and my mom was straight up front, so I shut both of the doors, the front door to the kitchen, and then the second door going back to my part of the house. In my room, vibing, lights turned off, music playing, in the bed chilling. So I hear my mama call my name, and it was like 4 or 5 times. So I turn my music off. I'm like, yes, yes, ma'am. What you need, mom? Never heard nothing. So shit, I'm like, let me turn my damn music back on. Obviously, it wasn't that important. That's how I was feeling at the time. Y'all, I turn my music back on, and they can't hear in the front of the house what I have going on. I could have a whole fucking house full of friends in the house. Nobody would know it. So I turn my music back on, y'all, and I hear my mama scream my name. So I'm like, at this point, let me get the fuck up and go see what's really going on, because something going on. Y'all, I opened my room door, and the screen door where the back door is was like, boom. As soon as I opened my door. That shit set me in a frenzy. So I turned the light on, looked outside the back door, y'all. The screen door was locked from the inside in. Like somebody in the house had to lock it, and the back door was locked. So that was the first red flag that threw me off. Mind you, my room and stuff is still dark, and the music is still playing, but it's low. The only light on is the light in this hallway. So I opened the door to go through the kitchen, the first door, and then I opened the second door to get to the front of the house. Y'all, I went in my mama's room, I'm like, girl, this is how we talk to each other. I'm like, girl, you keep calling my name. What's going on? Like, you got me back there scared. What's going on? Because I keep hearing you say my name. Yeah, my mama turned around. She was on her phone. She turned around, looked at me. She said, I have not called your fucking name. These are her exact words. I have not called your fucking name. If I needed you, I would have called your phone, or I would have walked back there. I know you said you was playing your music. So we were staring at each other, just looking at each other like something ain't right. So I was like, Mom, I'm telling you, I heard somebody saying my name and it was your voice. Like, please don't tell me that wasn't you. And I kept saying, ma'am, She was like, next time you hear something like that, just come up here and call me on the phone and see if it was me. She was like, don't answer to, because we have this thing, and y'all, I got chill bumps. I'm sorry, I keep pausing. We have this thing where ghosts are real. Like, let's just say that spirits are real. Like, we believe that spirits were real. So I went back to the back of the house, y'all. The doors that I had open to get back to my room, the 2 doors in the kitchen were fucking closed. The light that I turned on in the hallway was off, and my room door was closed when I left it open. Why the fuck, when I got back to the back of the house, y'all, my room door was closed, that light was off, the 2 kitchen doors was closed, and the goddamn lights in my room were on, and the speaker was loud as fuck. The gaming system on, the computer on, both of the TVs in the den, like the commons den area, and my room, like everything was on loud as fuck. Y'all, I ran back to the front of the fucking house so fucking fast. Like, excuse my language, but I got chill bumps, and it's bothering me. What the fuck? And when I walked back, I didn't walk. I was running back to the front of the house. I felt something like behind me. You know, like somebody walking behind you, can feel it. I felt like something on me, behind me. I could not turn around. I was scared it was gonna get me. Like, is that scary? Is that not scary? Like, what the fuck?
Story time on when my uncle told me a paraki about a woman who was turned into a cow in Haiti, and she would pause and cry every single time she walked by her house because she remembered, right? So I have this uncle in Haiti that does like random ass jobs, but this particular job that he was doing was basically taking cows from a farm to a slaughterhouse, and that was his job for like a good 6 to 7 years, right? He would wake up early in the morning, like 5 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and he'll bring like a bunch of cows from a farmhouse to a slaughterhouse. He'll just physically walk them there, and he has to wake up so early because he don't want to interfere with traffic, because he will walk by people's houses, he'll walk on the main street. However far he has to walk to get to the slaughterhouse, that's how far he will walk, right? And a lot of time, whatever cows didn't get murdered that day will have to be taken back to the farm and then back to the slaughterhouse every single day until they basically take all of them out. Well, this particular group of cows that he had to walk to the slaughterhouse, he was with them for like a week. So if he get a job, he'll have that job for like a good week until all the cows get slaughtered. So every single day that he was doing this job, his hurdle of cows, I think that's what they call it, like when you have a bunch of cows, will stop at this particular house because of this one cow that was part of the group. And this cow would stop there and refuse to move. She will cry, she will moan, and then finally she will just walk. She will just start walking again, I guess, whenever she's done crying, right? So my uncle just didn't understand what was happening. So every single day, this particular cow just will always get returned back to the farm and then back to the slaughterhouse. She'll never get killed until the last day. Well, one day as he was walking, the cow obviously stopped again right in front of that same exact house, crying, and the little boy came walking out of the house, and the cow stared at the little boy and basically just bawled out crying, just continues to cry. And I wouldn't say like crying like a human, but definitely crying, well, you know, like the sound that cows make, like the moo sound, but she was crying like a baby. And it even made me so sad just hearing about it, because I'm like, oh. So then finally the little boy came out and the cow just started crying, and the little boy walked by, stared at the cow stared at the little boy, stared at the cow back, and then finally the cow just walked away. Right? Until one day, of course, my uncle is nosy. He's going by the house again, and then he stopped by to ask questions like, hey, you know, what's going on? And the cow, the little boy basically asked about what happened to the cow, and he didn't want to tell the little boy what happened because he felt like something was, you know, the little boy was connecting with the cow, so he didn't want to tell him what happened to the cow. And the little boy told him, unbeknownst to him, that his mother had recently passed away, and she didn't pass away from like natural causes because she was such a young mom, but she just passed away. She just didn't wake up, right? And then they told him the story about how they believed that his mom was turned into like a cow or something, or like turned into some sort of servant for the people who basically killed her, because that's kind of how it works. If someone kill you, they can basically turn you into a zombie or like an animal or something. And he think that's what they did to his mom. And he felt that when that cow came by his house and stopped and he looked at the cow, he could tell that was his mom. Which to me, it's crazy, because the way that the cow still remembered her house, she still remembered her son. It was very crazy. It's still a crazy story to me, and I still cannot believe or cannot even understand whether or not it's a real story or a made up story from my uncle, because he was just too drunk. But that story just sounded too real, and the fact that it was around his job, I think it really did happen. But don't take my words for it, bitch, because that's a drunk ass man telling me a paraki. So it could be just a fake story or a real story, but I have heard stories where they do turn people into cows. They do turn people into like random ass shit in Haiti. So I wouldn't put nothing past it. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the story. Bye.
I have a creepy story. Actually, I'm thinking about calling this series Surviving La Kukai Job or The Mysteries of La Kukai Job. But let's get into it. So if you're new here, then you probably don't know that my family grew up on a land called Laku Kaijab. And Laku Kaijab, the direct translation is yard/house of demons. So this was located in a place called Saint-Roch in Haiti. That's where my father's side of the family is from. In Haiti, we call Saint-Roch en dehors because it's outside of the city. It's lots of trees. Like, the houses aren't as advanced as the ones in the city. There's not as many cars. They don't really have roads. It's like up in the mountains with a lot of nature, trees, animals, and all of that good stuff, and waterfalls too. So I guess at some point in his life, my grandfather decided to buy land. And my family, again, they're no stranger to voodoo, so just keep that in mind as I tell this story. At some point in his life, my grandfather bought this land, and like, he knew what it was called. And in Haiti, like, we don't play that, you know what I mean? The name itself is very telling, but my grandfather, I guess he believed he was a bigger problem. These demons had nothing on him. So he got the land, and I understood that it was a contract that was made between the demons that owned the land and my grandfather to stay on that land. It was some sort of agreement. The thing is about anywhere in Haiti that's like up in the mountains or in the forest, expect some freaky shit to go on. Expect to see a lugao. Expect to see something that you weren't supposed to see. And the thing is, they all come out at night. It never fails. Now that you know that this is the norm for forests in Haiti, now imagine, right? Now that you know the regular forest out there is already freaky. Now add a house of demons in the middle of the freakiness that's already going on. So this was my haunting. Now this would have been my first time going and staying the night. Now on my way there, my father gave me a lot of warnings, okay? He told me that this land is not to be played with, like there's a lot of freakiness going around. So like, you know, cross your T's and dot your I's. Like, don't do too much. And he's warning me, like, if you hear your name being called, you better confirm that somebody actually said your name before you answer. And you know, chickens are also like the first animals to go to sleep and the first ones to wake up. So if it's like 1 a.m. and you're hearing a chicken outside singing, it ain't no damn chicken. Mind your business and do not look outside the window at night. And also, you don't see shit. I don't care what you think you saw. You did not see it. And also, you know, keep the family's business to yourself, because I know you, listen, I always like to run my mouth. So they definitely had to give me this warning. Keep your mouth shut and stay close to the house. A lot of rules in it. And as he's telling me all of this, I'm just like, ain't none of this shit gonna happen. Then my grandfather winds up meeting us along the way, and he starts telling me the exact same thing. So I'm like, okay, I don't think this is a joke. So okay, fine. And you get down there, and the thing is about when you get to Laku Kaijab, you can sense that you're not alone. But the thing is, it didn't really feel like a bad vibe to me necessarily. It just felt like there's a lot going on here and somebody's watching me. The first few things that I do remember is broad daylight, seeing things like clearly run across my peripheral. And I would turn my head and it would be gone. Or somebody would like tap on my shoulder and I would turn and there's no one behind me. Again, these are not things that I really thought much of because it was nothing concrete. And mind you, at that point, I had never been to Saint-Roch before or Laku Kaijab. But I remember instantly befriending something. Again, never been there in my life, but I would leave the house, go wander around. And I remember the entire time I'm walking around Saint-Roch, like I had somebody or something with me because I would be talking the whole time. Like I would be communicating the whole entire time. I would get to wherever, because where would I actually need to go? But I would get to wherever and then turn around and make it back home just in time before sundown. And again, whole time I was accompanied by someone. I don't remember that someone or somebody even actually physically being there with me. But I remember I was never alone because I was always talking to something, and that thing was constantly telling me where to go. Also, you never want to be caught outside after sundown in Haiti. So like that night one, after my little adventure, I went to sleep. Or I tried going to sleep. So where my bed was, there was a window. So just like that. Window right here, laying right here. I feel something come to the window and start scratching at the window. Now keep in mind, I could reach out and touch the window. I'm hearing scratching noises, and then it starts to intensify. And then the galloping was so loud. It's as though like a bunch of animals are just like speed or like bum rushing the house that we were staying in. Again, nobody in the house is saying nothing. Actually, nobody's even moving. It seems like everybody's just sleeping, minding their own business, and I'm just up. The galloping are like intensifying until I hear footsteps walk towards the window, and then the galloping stops. Everything just stops and it went quiet. So the scratching stops, the galloping stopped, the footstep got to my window and just stopped. So I could feel something on the other side of that window just standing there. And if there wasn't a curtain covering the window, I would feel like that thing is watching me. I still felt like whatever that thing was watching me. Then I start to hear adjustment. So like, it's as though this figure was wearing leather or something, because like when it moved, I could hear its body like making that crunchy sound. So it's as though the motherfucker was standing and then he just kneeled, so I can hear him crouching. Then I start to hear. And at this point, y'all, I like freaked out is not even the word. Like petrified is not the word. It's not the word, because nobody around me is like moving or doing anything. So I'm like, I'm trying to wake people up and nobody wants to move. Like I try to wake up my cousin and she's just like, girl, like leave me alone. And it's important to keep in mind that nobody that was staying in that house had sleep paralysis except for one person. So everybody could hear me freaking around and tapping around trying to get people to wake up. They just purposely ignored me. So at this point, I'm really just under the covers, scared as fuck, just trying to focus on my cousin's body heat because we were sharing the bed. So then why the fuck the tapping stops and then I hear Neila. That's my name. And it sounds so close. Then I hear my grandfather's voice, just casually just having a conversation with somebody outside. And then my grandfather calls me, Neila! At this point, this is sounding very convincing because, like, that was my grandfather's voice. So I went to go get up, and all I feel was my cousin next to me just go. She didn't even say nothing, y'all. She just... And then I laid there, stared at the ceiling, and then eventually I fell asleep. The next morning, I asked my grandfather what he was doing outside that late. My grandfather says I wasn't even in this particular part of this neighborhood yesterday. Plus, what the hell do you think I'd be doing outside at 1 a.m? So I'm like, so you weren't outside by the window calling me? Wasn't me. Oh, okay. And I explained a little bit of what I endured last night, and everybody just laughed at me. They were like, well, who told you to stay up that late? It's your fault. And then this one guy was like, yeah, I had sleep paralysis. This kind of happens here. Everybody was just like, yeah, you know, just try to go to sleep early next time. And they were like, well, good thing you knew better and didn't answer when you heard your name being called, cause utap tula. Okay. And that was the worst night I had there. The haunting didn't stop, but it definitely subsided after that, at least for me. So I told my story all in one part, so if you made it to the end, go ahead and leave a comment so I know that you're fucking with this series already. I'll be using one of your comments to reply for the next video. Next would be either my uncle's story staying there or just a random person stopping by. Thank you for watching. If you dream of a wedding, it is not a good sign. Me and the creator who this comment is attached to, I think we both came from Haiti around the same time, which would have been around the 2010 earthquake. And she has been one of my favorite creators on this app because she literally talks about the voodoo stuff, like everything I have experienced. Like she has literally validated me so much. Because for whatever reason, Americans never believe me. They actually think I'm crazy. But dreaming of a wedding is absolutely not a good sign. It's similar to the American superstition of dreaming that your teeth are falling out. So if you dream that you're at your mother's wedding, it unfortunately means that somebody's gonna die. If you dream that you're at your mother's wedding, it might be your mother's time. If you dream you're at your best friend's wedding, that might be your best friend's time. Unlike your teeth falling out dreams though, like if you dream that you're in somebody's wedding, like without a shadow of a doubt, somebody's gonna die. Be careful what you give your energy to because you might just be summoning it right into your life. I have a spooky story time for you guys. The person that this happened to, we'll call her Nay. So this story takes place in 2013-2014. Nay was very obsessed with conspiracy theory videos. Not just any conspiracy theory videos, specifically the ones about the Illuminati. Now, I don't know if you were on YouTube at the time and you used to watch those conspiracy theory videos. Those used to be very spooky, especially the ones that used to dissect music. These videos would take circular music and just rewind the song, and in the song would be a message that's like super antichrist or super demonic. And you know, the symbolism in music videos and stuff Well, this particular day, Nay was watching a video about transferring consciousness. And if you don't know what that is basically where celebrities just pretend to be the next person. So you could swear you're watching Jay-Z perform, but that's actually Beyonce in a Jay-Z suit. And she doesn't remember which celebrity, but she recalls a specific celebrity talking about mirror magic. And this person was trying to summon a specific dead celebrity. So this person was talking about how mirrors are extremely powerful in witchcraft and how a lot of people use mirrors in their practices. So this guy in the video starts doing this chant and Nay's just watching on her laptop. Then suddenly it starts to feel really heavy in the room, as if all of the air was then sucked out of the room. Nay immediately feels uneasy. So Nay sits up and starts looking around and then catches a glance at herself in the mirror. She doesn't understand quite why, but she is infatuated with this mirror. She's staring at this mirror and she just cannot look away. And as she's staring, boom, her fully charged laptop just shuts off. So Nay looks away and looks down at her laptop and notices that it shut off. So Nay's just like, yo, what the fuck? The energy in the room just keeps growing thicker and thicker. Nay was so freaked out just by the laptop shutting itself off that she was like, nah, I gotta call my man. So phone's ringing and he picks up. He's like, hello? Nay's like, hello? He's like, hello? Nay's like, yeah, can you hear me? He's like, hello? Nay's like, I can hear you. Can you hear me? He's like, hello? And Nay is just getting frustrated because she can hear him just fine, but he cannot hear her. Then suddenly it gets, it's a little staticky. Nay gets extremely frustrated and hung up the phone. And Nay would obviously get frustrated by this because she's already spooked and all she's trying to do is just call her man so she can ease herself. Now her phone's just not working. So Nay, being extremely frustrated, just flings her phone into the laptop and it hits the keyboard. This is important because the phone hit the keyboard. And just as that happened, the screen of the laptop just starts going and then just cracks. And keep in mind, this is happening around 12 a.m., 1 a.m. Nay was instantly even more petrified. Nay did not need to see any more because she then ran out of her room, screaming in terror. Needless to say, she was scared to sleep in that room for a long time. And as she's telling me this story, she says, be careful because your curiosity can get the best of you. Alright guys, make sure you guys follow my YouTube. It is attached to where it says Instagram and my TikTok links. We will be dropping longer and better storytime content over on YouTube. And if you were one of the 100 people that went to go follow me on Instagram, I love you. If you are one of the 100 and some people that went to subscribe to my YouTube channel, the love is deep. I appreciate the heck out of you guys for being a part of this alien community with me. For the longest, the population was just me. So it's nice to see it growing and expanding to so many of you guys. Also, I'm debating if I should just drop 2 story times today because I'm not gonna be dropping one tomorrow. Comment down below and let me know. The next one is either going to be about my neighbor's experience living here or her sleep paralysis in her apartment where she saw a human dog. All right, go comment.
So you want more creepy story time about my experience living in Haiti? So here I am. I hope you already saw the other one about when my uncle basically told me a story about a lady that was turned into a cow after she passed on. And every time he would take her to the farm, like the cow to the farm, walk by the lady's house, she will cry real tears when she see her son standing outside. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check out that video. But this one is really, really short. So in Haiti, and at least in the town where I used to live, it's like an unspoken rule that every child know that if you hear your name being called, do not say yes. Because there was a child that lived in the neighborhood when she was around like 6, 7, her voice was taken because of that. So she heard her mom call her name and she said yes or whatever. She said basically yes. And she went mute from that day forward. And that girl is like maybe 30 or 40 now, but she basically became mute because she replied yes because she heard her voice. So whatever kind of spirit or whatever was around that used her mother's voice to call her basically wanted to take her voice, and that is the reason why they did it, and they succeed at taking her voice. So it's like a thing in that neighborhood that if you hear someone call your name, make sure you see that person or do not say yes. Just reply with anything else but yes, because then your voice could be taken. And it's something that, they tell children. I don't know if it's something they tell you to scare you, but why would you tell a kid that to scare them? Because it doesn't seem normal to me. Because when I come here, the rules are completely different. It's like you have to reply properly by saying yes. Like my mom would be like, don't say huh to me because you're not a horse. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I don't know. This is a really, really short one. So I don't make much videos on TikTok anymore because TikTok just don't pay me enough. So I'm on YouTube at All Things Jenny, and you can check out my videos. I make creepy stories every single Sunday, and throughout the week, every single day, I'm here for you with regular hot topics that's going on. So I hope to see you there. Bye.
Yeah. Did y'all know that shapeshifters are real? And I mean real, real. Let's talk about it. Now, lots of urban legends all over the world has similar stories to shapeshifters and all that type of stuff. A most common one is the legend of the Skinwalker, which is a Navajo legend. That is, I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't believe anything I say, that's valid. But this right here, this is real. There's even a show called Skinwalker Ranch, and it talks about all the freaky stuff that go on. And I don't even want to mess with them over there. But today I'll be talking about the Lagao, which is a Haitian folklore mythology creature, which I don't even think it's a myth. Well, I know it's not a myth. Now, Lagao comes from the French word known as the werewolf. But it's not just that. They can be known as a monster, an evil spirit, a demon, a werewolf, vampire, you name it. Now, a Lagao is a human, mainly female. Not all of them are female, but mainly female, that can transform into these creatures and animals and just crazy stuff, y'all. And they mainly are people that practice voodoo. They are known to be like humans and take their human forms in the day and walk the streets at the night and terrorizing people. Now, they are allegedly known to target babies and smaller children, sometimes animals. They will, not saying that they won't go after an adult, but they prefer smaller children because of their pure and their innocence. But they're known to do that so that their physical conditions won't deteriorate rapidly. So they eat babies. They're also known to drain the blood from their victims while they're sleeping, or they may kidnap them and eat them then. Now in Haiti, they know this stuff is real. This is just, not saying this is a regular day for them, but they grew up hearing these stories and they grew up hearing these things and might have family members that was once a Lagao or might know somebody that's one. I've seen a lot of people share their story times of family members that has experienced or encountered one. Lots of them say that sometimes you might hear them knock on your door. Don't invite them in, y'all. Some people may say that they've seen animals that they think is one, or I've seen a lot of videos of people showing their animals and it sounding like they sound like a human or something like that, and people be like, that is a Lagao. You just never know. Now legend says that it's not something that you're inherited into, you're not necessarily born into. Most of the time you are cursed into it, or someone has made you into this Lagao creature. So with that being said, the Lagao is in fact very dangerous because they're pissed. Because no matter how you look at it, they have been cursed or punished into being this creature. And they're mad. So, that being said, they're not to be played with. So, you might have a neighbor that you just think is a regular old woman that live next door to you in Haiti, and they're a Lagao. That's why over there, they're extremely cautious, especially about their children. So let me know if you heard similar stories or have family members that told you stories that have experienced it, or if you had experienced it, because I would love to know.
Will leave you completely breathless, where if you were to tell somebody else a story, they probably would not believe you. So in Haiti is actually a portal. Did you know that? Haiti is a portal, and there's a lot of stuff that happened, especially on top of the mountains. And I used to live right on top of a mountain, or at one point, not my entire time living in Haiti, but at one point I lived on top of a mountain. And I have uncles that actually, my neighbor just got home. I have uncles that actually still live on top of a mountain right now. And they have experienced things throughout the night, throughout the day, even in broad daylight. I'm telling you, things will happen to you in broad daylight that you can't even imagine are real stories. So, or real stuff that are happening. So if you ever travel to Haiti, talk to the locals. If you ever travel to Haiti, try to, watch out, pay attention, because you just might experience something. You just might witness something while you're there. The stories are great. You are going to enjoy, and I will see you next Sunday. Please watch for my stories because every single Sunday we will have the creepy story times. And also, if you enjoyed this series, leave a comment below so I can continue it, because if I don't get a lot of feedbacks, I might not continue it. But I love telling scary stories so much that I definitely will probably continue it. But go ahead and leave your comment below. If you have any creepy stories that you would like to share, my link is above in the description section, or you can just put the story in the comment section and I will try to add it in the next video. I'll see you later.